It's a nice, crispy, cool day uh, in the low 60s. Not a cloud in the sky, a little breeze. Very nice, lovely day. It's the kind of day that says enjoy it because it's fixing to get hot down here. So this is an interesting problem. The back frame for my swing has a straight angle here and it has a 30-degree angle here. So I can set this up for a 30-degree here, and that will chop just fine there, and that will give me the pattern there. But then when I'm doing this end, I don't have that, I don't have the same angle here. I've got this 90-degree and a 30-degree here. So if I set this to 30 degrees here, and as I was saying, if you set this to 30-degree on your miter saw and it comes down, you see there's a gap here. And how am I going to get this length correct on these cuts? Well, since that's a 30-degree, the complementary to this is a 60-degree. So I can simply put it a 60-degree piece cut here and mark my spot here. And I'm not going to make this cut until I've done cutting this length here. So this 60-degree angle complements this and makes this exactly right if I'm cutting the other way and cutting the 30-degree angle instead of the straight 90. So this block I'll move in and out as I make my cuts and make all 38 pieces. Then I'll come back and cut this later. This edge here is going to match up with this tip here, and that will all be the same length that way, the same length back. Then I'll take this and make this smooth cut on the bandsaw. So a cool little problem I thought I'd share with you. Now if I was cutting out just for one swing, I wouldn't do that. But since I'm cutting 38 of these instead of 3, then yeah, I don't want to mark each individual piece 38 times and do all that. So I'm good. That's why I set this up. So it all depends on your perspective. Would I do that if I'm doing one swing? No. But if I'm doing 12 swings in which I need 38 backs, then I'm not going to mark it 38 times. That would drive me a little crazy. Or dare I say more crazy. So there's 38 backs ready for the bandsaw. This little cut here is the last one I got. And I went ahead and nibbled the little decorative end off there. And they're ready to go. So we got 38 bottom joists, and we got 38 back joists, and they will mate together and pretty much make the frame. I think it's about time for a tuna sandwich. So this is where we are. We got the left-hand side or the right-hand side legs and the left-hand side in the middle. Not legs, but frames more or less for the swing that all the slats attached to. We got the front brace there. We got the armrest brace, and we got the armrest that I have not cut out yet. I've just cut them to length. Put together the first one. I'll do a little sanding on it, set it aside, and then I've got 9 more like that and 2 more long ones. So just a slow process of putting them together. Takes a little time for each one. So here's where the magic takes place. I've got the slats on my counter back there. The work table is free from all but the essential clutter. I've got these stop blocks here on the table screwed into the table so they don't move, and I'll clamp these frame pieces on there and in their proper place, and start laying out the slats. I'll start with this slat back here to start with. It goes from this edge all the way to this edge, and that's the first piece I usually put on. Then I'll come back and put these front braces on each end, and I could go ahead and put the armrest brace in there at that time, and slowly I'll get the rest of the braces put in, and it will become a swing. Or that's always the plan, with the fingers crossed. You never know what's going to happen, but usually we can make a pretty nice swing out of our materials we have. We didn't go crazy and cut them the wrong way. Now everything on the work table is nice and orderly. I've got one drill that does for screws. I've got another drill that does the pre-drilling. Just makes a little hole there for pre-drilling. Those two I keep, don't swap the bits back and forth, so I don't have to waste time with that. I've got in over here, I've got a couple of 3-inch screws that I put on the armrest for extra strength. I've got the 5/16 bolts that I use to really tie the frame together and hold the chain. I've got the bolts, the washers, and that reminds me I need to order some more washers. But everything is right ready to go, and everything around it is pretty much chaos. Not that I want everything around it chaos, that just seems the way it goes, because you know, entropy is the force of things moving to disorder, and things around me tend to get disorderly, except right where I'm working. So I don't know if that happens to you, but it happens to me every time. So I just attached my armrest here. This particular design, it's about 12 inches on the front of the arm, and it slants down to about 11 inches on the back of the arm. I got to keep a check on that, because even though get these lined up perfectly, these boards do twist and warp a little bit. They're not perfect boards, just like I'm not a perfect woodworker. So you have to work with them a little bit and make sure everything is going along straight. So just some cons of working with treated lumber, which has a fairly high moisture content, but you get them straight on there and they will stay straight more or less. So I've already got tired of reading the tape measure, and I still got several swings to go, so I cut me a little check stock here. That's 11 inches, and that's going to save me some time. Looking at the final swing design here, you can tell the slats on the first one has got a cutout, and one is less, the thickness of a 2x4 on each side. So my 55-inch stop is already set up, so I'm going to just put these two pieces of scrap wood there, and that'll be the exact thing I need to cut off of that first slat. And I'll go ahead and do about 4 or 5 of those and have those set aside ready. Strategically, it's a great time to cut off most of this junk here that didn't really make a great slat. So if I have a few of those, I'll try to especially cut off the ends of them. Now the second slat, I'll just mark those in and cut them individually. That'll keep me on my toes while I'm putting these together. Now for these slats inside, I just kind of spaced them out aesthetically to where I kind of like the gaps between them. Oh, there's no wrong or right way to do it, although I would say try not to get them all catty-wonkered where one side has got a wide gap and the other's got a narrow, because that doesn't look right. And you just kind of have to eyeball it and work them as you go, because these slats aren't truly straight. They're you know, a little bit wavy sometimes. So now that I got all the slats in, I drilled me a hole there where I could put the chain through and bolt it down to that. That holds the weight of the swing. And that's about all we have left on this, except the armrest. So there's the armrests, kind of just stuck up here. I haven't bolted them down yet. If you look here, this is coming at it a straight. So what I do to make that a little better fit is just come with the miter saw and cut a 45 right here. That makes this slide back nice and snug. That's a better fit, and that's the way we'll bolt her down. I put a 3/8 screw here and a 3/8 screw here, and I put a couple of 2 inches here and here. That holds that down pretty well. It doesn't go anywhere after that. This tip on this drill, I have no idea where it came from, but I wish I could find another one, because it works perfectly. Or if I want to set this here and not have it bust, I can aim that toward that frame there and drill that out like that, and it makes a nice hole there that I can screw into, and it's not going to split the wood. And I have no idea where it came from, but I wish I could find some more, because I don't see that sold anywhere that I've ever seen on Amazon or Lowe's or anywhere I've looked. So that's got that. We'll put a couple more 2-inch screws in, and that'll have the armrest. So I got my holes marked where the chain is going to come through. A little plus sign there for the east and the west, so I can pinpoint exactly where my Forstner bit will go. And I'll use this. It's a 7/8 bit that will make a path for the chain to go through and attach to the bolts down here. And I would do that now, except I've learned that makes a mess, so I'm going to take that outside where I do my sanding. And but that's pretty much another swing there. That makes 4 of them in this state of finish here. They're all unfinished, and if you wanted an unfinished swing, just plain old treated lumber, that would last a long time under a porch. Or if you would rather have it sealed, that will be a little bit longer process, because the wood is fairly damp still. So even though I've had it for a few weeks on the back of a trailer in the barn, it's still kind of made, it's still got the wetness in it. I tried to kind of band it together where it wouldn't warp on me too much before I got it fastened into a swing here, where it's this wood doesn't warp that much. I notice when it's tied in together. I'll show you what I'm talking about. For instance, this slat here, it can't move anywhere pretty much because it's tied here. It's screwed there and it's screwed there, and there's just not much for it to go. Now this can bow a little bit between there, but that's why these are spaced pretty close, where that is pretty much not going to happen. I hope you enjoyed walking through me with this batch of swings here. That's all I'm going to do for this video. I got 4 done in this state, and 2 long ones, which is the same thing, but I do put an extra frame in the bottom on it. So it's a little bit different setup, but basically the same thing. And got 2 of those and 6 more of the regular ones. So just a little more work to do, and some finished work when these dry out in a few days. So hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.